Okay, so if you can believe it, I went through the whole month listening to Jumping by Kara on my iPod, unaware that anything was going on with them, good or bad. Come to find out, the day I get my computer back and go on all K-pop, the first headline I see is DSP sends proposal to Kara could possibly return as 5 soon. Wait, what? Return as 5 what? What the hell happened? So, after doing extensive research that literally took me all day to summarize, it is my pleasure to present, in summary, to the best of my ability, the breakup, then reformation of Kara. Well, kinda. I don't really know what to call it. It's more like a hopeful wish. But, if anything, I don't know. Well, let's just go back to the beginning of the month of January, where I was left off with them before my laptop got sent away. Oh, and for the first time ever, with a sore throat, I'm going to be reading off of something, so please, I apologize if A, it's too wordy, and B, I don't make eye contact. For the first 2 weeks of January, Kara was riding high with success from both their Japanese and their Korean promotions. They and SNSD, for their Japanese promotions, were predicted by Oricon to be the #1 and #2 breakout artists of 2011, respectively, and both groups had been named New Artist of the Year by the 25th Japan Gold Disc Awards, which is amazing. I'm sorry, but to beat out AKB48 in Oricon's predictions, or any sort of subgroup of AKB48, and to be from a different country, that's pretty amazing. By themselves, Kara's names were paved in platinum when their Japanese album Girls Talk went, well, platinum, becoming the first ever Korean girl group, yes, beating SNSD, to sell 250,000 copies of the album in Japan, or of any album. And they'd been doing press conferences for their upcoming 12-episode drama in Japan, Yurakara, or Kara's Double Life, which is about, quote, dating and a variety of different genres as well. Things such as robots appear as well, so please look forward to it. Only in Japan will there be robots. They were also set to sing the opening theme song, Ima Okuride Arigato, and it was set to be simulcast in Korea. Meanwhile, in Korea, a popular producer by the name of Kim Hyung-suk recruited Kara and some other not-so-important artists for his collaboration album 2011 Kim Hyung-suk with Friends Part 1. And Kara sang a cover of Lena Park's I'll Write You a Letter, and released a music video which is, well, whimsical? It's very fairy tale-ish in a cartoon way. And the maknae, or the youngest member, Kang Ji-young, celebrated her 17th birthday. Now, I'm not sure if that's like 17 in Korea or 17 to us. But, literally, a day after her birthday, all hell broke loose at DSP and Media Entertainment, which is their record company, because on January 19th, it was revealed that Ji-young and other members, Nicole, Guhara, and Sungyoung, were set to split with DSP Media. They claimed that they had lost their confidence in their relationship with DSP, and it could never be regained again. Their lawyers, known as Landmark, which I don't know if that's like the name of the company of the lawyers representing them, or if that's like a group of lawyers and they've suited in themselves Landmark, but they stated that they were pained by the decision, but to protect their rights and their future, the girls had to part ways. They also revealed that the girls tried to compromise with their company, but the company was forcing the members to fulfill the schedules that they didn't want, and continuously piled stuff on top of their heavy workload, on top of stuff, on top of stuff, on top of stuff, resulting in severe emotional and psychological damages. According to them, they'd been in talks with the members' parents for 2 months, and no one wanted to go back to DSP. DSP came back at this, of course, by claiming ridiculousness. They didn't know what went wrong. What could have possibly happened to make the members turn against them in this way? And they were going to investigate it to the fullest extent. But instead, they set out to trademark the name Kara under the company name, so should the girls continue under a different company, they'd need special permission from DSP to use the name Kara. I don't know about you, but that's not really the best way to figure out what went wrong. So, where was their leader, Kyuri, throughout this whole announcement? Well, even though the lawyers of the other 4 members were using the name Kara as the ones involved in the lawsuit, it turns out that not only was she not involved with the lawsuit with all of her fellow bandmates, but she had no clue that they were even planning a split from DSP. She said all she wanted was to be with the Kara members and find out exactly what was going on. Just like the rest of us, apparently. I say apparently because I get all the information now, and you guys kind of had to wait a day and sit it out and all that stuff. So then, TV Report, which is a show or a station or something. They were flooded with info. They got the dirt and more on Kara's unhappiness with DSP through DSP representatives, as well as Gyuri's mother. TV Report claimed that DSP was well aware of this unhappiness since last year, but DSP said that the reason that they wanted their contracts terminated was ultimately because of the green, because of money. And another industry representative claimed that Kara brought in $18 million worth of income from their Japan stuff alone, but per girl they were only paid $3,000, which was because of specific clauses, or something, that DSP signed with their Japanese distribution company, which said that they receive 85% of the profits, while DSP only gets 15%. Supposedly, this is the same way with any Korean artist going into the Japanese market, like SNSD, Big Bang, Beast. Apparently, the Koreans get 15%. That's a bummer. The best part? The CEO is currently in the hospital in a coma. So, he really can't make an official statement in a coma. And the whole company, for the past 10 months, has been trying their best not to say something to screw them over. But another unknown talent agency wanted Kara so badly at the time that they offered to pay the penalty fees that breaching their DSP contracts would cost. Damn. Very, very, very competitive. The representatives first met with Gyuri's mom, and this is where she comes in. She said that she couldn't betray DSP after all they had done for her daughter, and that she trusted DSP and the contracts that they were currently under. That makes 1 of 4. It's a 4-to-1 battle. Like, who do you... I don't know. There's 4 girls going against an agency that are saying, you know, you did this and da-da-da-da. So you're more inclined to believe the 4 girls and their lawyers, right? Because there's 4 of them. The industry, interestingly enough, if you were thinking it already, as I was, is already speculating Kara to be the second TVXQ due to the complex underlying issues and the competition in trying to scout Kara for themselves. The next day, January 20th, while we thought we'd finally soaked in enough info, there was more. Of course there was more. Landmark revealed that the 4 members would not be doing any future activities with DSP. The problem with that was that all 5 members were still in the midst of filming their Japanese drama Yurikara. But Gyuri, who wasn't a part of this scuffle, was going on with her schedule activities, but it wasn't like promotions for any songs. It was just being herself on TV or on the radio. But the biggie was that the group as a whole would have to skip the 20th Seoul Music Awards, which was on that day, January 20th. Breaking news struck later that day, though, because after 2 months of talks with Landmark and the parents and back and forth, and only 1 day after being in the news, Guhara decided to cancel the contract termination. Why? Well, they didn't really say why at the time, but conveniently, on the day in which DSP Media were supposed to release a statement, they said that while they received one-sided declarations from Landmark on the 19th, Guhara decided not to join the others in terminating her contract, simply saying she didn't want to follow through and comply with the terminations she and the other members had submitted that day. And that was it. There was no why. They continued on saying that it was because the CEO was in the hospital that everything went to hell, supposedly. Through the girls' claims, that is, to sum it up, the profit distribution was totally skewed in their claims, and that they stopped this other agency from going after Kara immediately after they found out that they had talked with Gyuri's mother, and that they only did what they thought was best, but not unfairly, in order to make Kara the top of the Hallyu wave in Korea and top on the Japanese-Korean market. But one thing that's really interesting, despite all of this he said, she said business, is this. This all started because of disputes over the profit distribution of albums and singles in Japan, and the parents were heavily involved. Who does this remind you of? TVXQ. They are the new TVXQ. 2 of them want to continue with the label, though all 5 want to continue, period, and this is all happening when they've reached their highest point in Japan. Coincidence? Hell no. What happens next? Find out on part 2 of this Kara drama. I bet it's better than Yurikata, really.